Lovely friends, it's Emma here from Just a Girl Who Loves Elvis. We talk a lot about what Elvis was. A star, a legend, a voice, a moment in history. We don't talk enough about who he chose to be. Not on a stage, not in headlines, not in photographs, but quietly, in the way he treated people, in the way he noticed things, in the way he carried himself, in the way he loved. Tonight, I don't want to talk about fame. I want to talk about goodness. About the kind of goodness that doesn't make noise, that doesn't perform, that doesn't ask to be seen. The kind that just is. This episode is about the good man Elvis was. Not the image, the man. Imagine goodness as something big. Big gestures, big moments, big stories. But real goodness is usually quiet. It's in the small choices, the gentle words, the patience, the noticing. Elvis's goodness didn't announce itself. It lived in how he made people feel. Safe, seen, respected, valued. Not impressed. Valued. And there is a difference. When people who knew Elvis talk about him, they don't start with fame. They start with feeling. They talk about how he listened, how he remembered names, how he noticed moods, how he asked questions. Not out of politeness, out of care. He didn't rush people. He made room for them. And I think making room for someone is one of the kindest things you can do. Some people walk through life taking. Some walk through life giving. Not gifts, not money, but space. Elvis gave people space to be themselves. He didn't try to dominate rooms. He softened them. He didn't try to be important. He tried to be kind. And kindness is not weakness. It's choice. I think gentleness is one of the most misunderstood qualities. People think it means fragile. They think it means weak. They think it means soft in a way that they can't survive the world. But I think real gentleness is strength. It's a decision to remain kind when you could be careless. It's a choice to be tender when the world rewards hardness. It is the courage to feel when others shut down. Elvis Presley was gentle. Not in a performative way. Not in a way that asked for recognition. In the way he spoke to people. In the way he listened. In the way he treated those who were nervous, unsure, or overwhelmed. He didn't loom over people. He leaned in. And that is a quiet kind of goodness. Empathy is not about understanding everything. It's about trying. It's about imagining what someone else might be carrying. It's about adjusting your behaviour because you care. Elvis Presley had that. He noticed when someone was uncomfortable. He noticed when someone was sad. He noticed when someone felt small. And he didn't ignore it. He softened. He reassured. He tried to make things easier. Not because he was told to, but because he felt it. And when someone feels the emotions of others deeply, they often become protectors. Not loudly, quietly. Loyalty is not dramatic. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't trend. It doesn't sparkle. It stays. Elvis stayed. He didn't forget people when things changed. He didn't become distant when his world got bigger. He didn't treat relationships as disposable. He valued connection. And when you value connection, you treat people carefully. You don't rush them. You don't replace them easily. You don't forget them. That kind of loyalty doesn't come from obligation. It comes from heart. There's a kind of goodness that doesn't have a name. It's not heroic. It's not dramatic. It's not impressive. It's decent. It's treating people fairly. It's not humiliating others. It's not using power to make someone feel small. It's not enjoying cruelty. Elvis had that kind of decency. He didn't like people being embarrassed. He didn't like people being mocked. He didn't like people being hurt. He felt it when others felt it. And I think that tells you everything. I think the truest measure of who someone is not what they say, but in how they treat people when there is no audience. Elvis treated people like they mattered. Not because he had to, because he believed they did. That kind of goodness doesn't come from rules. It comes from values. Some people in life are guided by applause, some by success, some by power, and some are guided by something quieter. A sense of right and wrong that lives inside them. Not shouted, not announced, just there. Elvis had that. He didn't need rules to tell him how to treat people. He didn't need reminders to be kind. He moved through the world with a kind of inner compass. One that pointed towards gentleness, towards fairness, towards care. Not perfection, but intention. And I think that matters more than anything. There's a difference between being charming and being sincere. Charm can be performed. Sincerity can't. Elvis didn't put on emotions like costumes. He felt them. When he smiled, it wasn't rehearsed. When he laughed, it wasn't calculated. When he was quiet, it wasn't strategic. He was emotionally honest. And emotionally honest people make others feel safe. Because you don't have to guess with them. You don't have to perform with them. You don't have to protect yourself around them. They meet you where you are. And that's rare. Not all goodness is visible. Not all kindness is public. Not all love is loud. Some of the most meaningful things Elvis did were never written about. They happened in hallways, in dressing rooms, in quiet conversations, in moments no one was filming. Because real goodness doesn't wait for witnesses. It just happens. And that's the kind of goodness that lasts. Trust doesn't come from fame. It comes from some consistency. From the feeling that someone won't embarrass you, won't use you, won't belittle you, won't dismiss you. Elvis made people feel safe. Not dazzled, safe. And safety creates trust. In a world that rewards loudness, I think his quiet goodness feels even more precious. In a world that celebrates power, his gentleness feels radical. In a world that moves fast, his care feels timeless. I think it reminds us that you don't have to be hard to be strong. That kindness is not weakness. That goodness can be quiet and still change lives. Elvis Presley wasn't perfect. None of us are. But he was good. And goodness is not about perfection. It's about attention, about hearts, about how you treat people, about what you choose when no one is watching. And to me, that's what made him special. Not the fame, the man. If this episode made you feel warmer, or lighter, or reminded you why you care so deeply about him, then I'm really glad you're here. You can like, subscribe or share. No pressure, just an open door. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and as always, keep a little Elvis magic in your heart.